Hello everybody and welcome back to the Chels Teaches Yoga YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being with me here today. I'm really excited to share this new class with you. Now if you haven't already, make sure you like this video and also subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button so you get notifications every time I upload a new video. All right, so let's dive in. This month at Chels Teaches Yoga and in the Yoga Magic Studio, which is my virtual yoga community, we're going to be talking about the Yamas. So if you're not familiar with the Yamas are the first of the 8 limbs in Ashtanga Yoga. Not meaning Ashtanga the style of yoga, but Ashtanga meaning 8 limbs of yoga. The Yamas are sort of moral, ethical restraints, guidances on how to sort of interact with other people, with our environment, as we live our lives. So there's 5 of them. And the first one that we're going to be diving into is Ahimsa, probably the most well-known one. Ahimsa means non-harm and non-violence. And this is a great practice to bring onto our mat, because a lot of the times when we show up to our practice, we push ourselves past our limits, we push ourselves beyond where our bodies are capable or comfortable going, because we're fearful of not keeping up with the class, the teacher, whatever it might be, the expectations we have of ourselves, and we can often end up injured. Now, Ahimsa doesn't just mean physical harm. Ahimsa is about really not causing harm in any way. So that would be physical harm to yourself or others, mental, emotional with your words to yourself or others, to animals, to your environment. So it's really all around kindness instead of harm to the environment and yourself. So we're going to practice that concept here on the mat today with a yin style yoga class. I'm going to ask that if you have a bolster, go ahead and grab it. If you don't have a bolster, some cushions or a couple of big floofy pillows will do. And if you have 2 blocks, please grab those as well. And that's going to be really supportive in your practice today. So with that being said, I will meet you right back here for our Ahimsa-inspired yin yoga class. All right, everyone, welcome back to the mat. We're going to get started in a supported child's pose. So taking your bolster or your cushion or pillows long ways in front of you, just between the thighs with the knees wide around it. And we're just going to drape the torso down onto the bolster and then just let one cheek come to the bolster and just lean facing one side. And as you settle your body down into this bolster, just allow your whole physical form to melt down into the support underneath you. To totally let go, to release any need to put forth effort here, and instead to just allow your body to be exactly as it is. As you turn inwards, start to cultivate this attitude of Ahimsa towards your body and towards your practice. How can you introduce a little more kindness in the way that you treat yourself, the way that you talk to yourself when you're here on the mat, and also when you're off of the mat? Go ahead and switch your cheek to the other side, stretching out the opposite side of the neck. And maybe starting to cultivate some sort of intention or affirmation here that reflects this attitude of Ahimsa, of this kindness rather than violence, this turning away from violence or harm of yourself or others, knowing that this attitude starts here with how you talk to and treat yourself. So what sort of affirmation might you choose here? Perhaps something along the lines of, I respect my body. I appreciate my practice. I am grateful for showing up to my mat. Allow yourself to just get a little heavier here as you repeat that affirmation that feels resonant with you. Maybe seeing if you can lengthen the breath even a little bit further here. And we'll stay for 3 more breaths. On this last breath, go ahead and open mouth, sigh on the exhale. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, let it go. All right, gently bring the head back up to center. Begin to lift yourself up away from the bolster. And then you can just take your bolster and remove it gently to the side. All right, slowly making your way into a tabletop now. So hands and knees, adjusting wrists so they line up under the shoulders, knees so that they're underneath the hips. And we'll inhale for a cow pose. So dropping the belly down, lifting the heart. And exhale for cat. Round the spine. Now for this class on these cat-cows, let's make them really kind of mild cat-cows. So maybe not taking that full expression of arching or rounding, just finding a nice lubricating movement in the spine. A gentle undulation as you inhale and exhale. Again, cultivating that attitude of ahimsa. In our asana practice, it's very common for us to think that we're not doing enough, if we're not sweating, if we're not taking the biggest, most intense movements, which is often what leads us to harm ourselves either physically or enter into a mindset of not being enough or not being good enough. And then that's when we begin to talk to ourselves not so nicely and more in a harmful way. So just really find those gentle, kind movements here in your body. Let's take 2 more rounds. Last round. Really good. Come back to neutral. All right, go ahead and tuck your toes here for a minute, and we're just gonna curl the toes under and just send the hips back to give the feet a little bit of a stretch. Feel a little stretch in the arch. Push down into all 10 fingertips. Let your spine be long, hips towards the heels. Let's take 3 slow breaths. I respect my own body. I accept my practice. I am grateful for showing up to my mat today. Awesome. We'll inhale slowly to come back up. Untuck the toes as you exhale. Moving into thread the needle now. Again, this is going to be nice and gentle. Inhale. Take your right arm all the way up to the sky, finding a nice big extension through the heart space. And then we'll exhale, thread the right arm under the left armpit, laying gently onto the right shoulder. Now here, take your left hand forward and just begin to breathe into the upper back and shoulders. Remember not to force anything, to not push yourself too deep into a pose, but instead just allow the body to sort of sink into the shape that it needs to for each particular asana, and just respecting where that is today. No stress. Let's take 3 more breaths on this side. Just letting the weight settle down onto the shoulder. Awesome, beautiful job. Let's slowly bring the left hand back to the mat. Slowly press yourself back up to tabletop. We'll move to the other side. Inhale, left hand's gonna reach nice and high. Exhale, we'll thread it underneath, laying onto the left shoulder, this time walking the right hand forward. Deep breaths, cultivating that attitude of kindness. Letting go of harmful, judgmental, critical words or thoughts. And just accepting the pose, accepting in your body the way that the pose feels, and not forcing it to be anything else. Practicing acceptance and respect. Let's take 3 more breaths. Right hand slowly returns back to the mat. Begin to press yourself back up, tabletop. All right, we'll start to make our way to our seat now and to Paschimottanasana. So come all the way back to your seat and go ahead and grab your bolster. All right, so coming into Paschimottanasana with your bolster, we're going to take the bolster out in front of us. We'll take the legs long in front of the body, so completely in front of the body here, nice and long. And you also have the option, if you have a blanket and you know that you have really, really tight hips, you could sit on a blanket. Or if you want it to be a little more intense, you could sit on a block if you have a foam block and it's a little more comfortable. If you have a cork block, it might not feel as nice. I'm going to go ahead and sit on my foam block. So I'm just going to lift up my hips, scooch the block underneath the front of my sit bones, take the legs back out in front, and then I'm going to take my bolster kind of across my thighs here and right up against my belly. And this is going to be kind of like my support as I fold forward in Paschimottanasana. So supported Paschimottanasana. Don't worry so much about activating your legs or flexing your feet. Just kind of let the legs be comfortable and settle. Sit forward on the block, the blanket, or possibly just on the floor. You're going to lean into the bolster here, taking a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, round the spine and just let the entire torso drape over the bolster. Head hangs heavy. And just breathing into it, breathing into the supported variation. If you're somebody that usually in a seated forward fold is going for your toes, even when you can't reach them and you're trying to force yourself, this is a great time to come back to that attitude of Ahimsa. Let it be what it is. There's no need for you to force yourself into a variation of the pose that is not truly yours. There's no need to force your body into something that is not comfortable. Here, just be kind, be gentle. Relax into the pose. Taking some nice, deep belly breaths to encourage the relaxation in the body, to encourage the looseness and the attitude of just letting go, letting be. My teacher, Keno McGregor, always says, no force, no fight. And I love that. No force, no fight here. We're almost there. Keep breathing. Let's take 5 more breaths in this supported Paschimottanasana. I am grateful for showing up to my mat to practice. I respect my body. I accept my practice. All right, next breath, let's exhale out the mouth. So inhale through the nose and let it go. All right, gently begin to rise back up. Go ahead and take that bolster back to the side for a moment. We'll be using it for the next pose. Go ahead, bend the knees for just a second, kind of release, maybe do a little open close. Also, I apologize. There's like some workers or something outside of my apartment, and they're being pretty noisy. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and come off of the block now, if you're sitting on the block, and we're finding supported butterfly pose. So Baddha Konasana. We're gonna do basically similar to what we just did with Paschimottanasana. You can put the block off to the side. We won't be using that. Find your butterfly pose. So soles of the feet together, knees come out nice and wide. We're sitting tall. We're taking the bolster again, long ways across in front of the belly, and just kind of leaning forward into it again. So this time the bolster is actually going to kind of assist you in opening the hips up a little bit more and opening the knees. So do be aware of this. If you feel at any point that it's too intense, you can go ahead and take those blocks, putting one under each knee here. And that'll keep them from opening up too far if it's feeling a little intense for you. Actually, as I bring those blocks under my knees, I like that. So I'm going to leave that for me. You can choose to do so or do without the blocks. But the bolster or your cushions are in front of the belly, in front of the torso. Inhale, lift up a little, sit tall. Exhale, just drape over the bolster and give yourself permission to just feel supported here, to not push. To just sink in and breathe. All right, so we're here for a couple minutes, just focusing on your breath and remembering to come back to those affirmations in times where it feels like you don't want to stay still anymore, you want to push a little further. It's okay to be here and just show a little kindness, a little restraint, and embody that attitude of Ahimsa. If you're feeling like your head and neck need a little extra support, you could always prop your chin up with your hands or even kind of bring hands underneath the chin here. I actually am going to do that. Remember that these slow and gentle practices are just as important as the more powerful practices. All those more powerful practices help to cultivate strength in our body and our attitude. These more gentle practices work the same way. They help to cultivate a respect and acceptance, a permission to release, to take a step back, to rest. So really enjoy this moment of not pushing, of enacting kindness towards yourself rather than force, rather than harm. And let that be reflected not only in these gentle yin poses, but also in the words that you say to yourself, the thoughts that enter your mind. Perhaps you notice thoughts of, I need to do more. You don't. Everything's good and you're good here, and you deserve this restful practice. We have 5 more breaths here. And this next breath, we'll exhale out the mouth, in through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. All right. Ooh, I feel pretty relaxed. All right, starting to rise back up. Go ahead and move the bolster out of the way. So we're going to be using our blocks for this next one. So we'll go ahead and take the blocks Go ahead and stack them for a second and then come into a seated posture. We're going to find hurdler's pose, or in yin it's called deer pose. I call it hurdler's pose because it kind of looks like, if you were ever a cheerleader, a hurdle jump, it kind of looks like that. So you're going to take your right foot, right leg, keep it in front of you, and then we're going to lean over to the right side and swing this left leg around and behind us. And so this right sole of the foot is going to come in to meet the inner left thigh. All right, I'll actually turn towards you so you can kind of see this a little better. All right, so we're kind of in this staggered off positioning. Now with your blocks, you're going to take them over to the outside of your right thigh. You could also, again, use a cushion or even your bolster for this if you wanted to. And you're going to inhale, lift up nice and tall, sort of rotate a little bit to the right. So we're twisting our torso. And then we're going to slowly lower the forearms down onto your support of your blocks, your bolster, whatever it is you have. And we're going to breathe here. This is a nice hip stretch, a nice gentle low back release. And you're also getting a twist here. So a lot of nice things you're doing for your body by taking a really slow and gentle pose. Try to relax through the muscles of the face. Come back to that gentle focus on your breath. Breathing into this attitude of non-violence, non-harm. Just letting the body sink into it. Let's take 4 more breaths on this side. On this last one, exhale it out the mouth, big breath in. All right, gently, gently make your way back up, and we're essentially going to switch sides. So taking your blocks to the other side, bringing your feet to the center, and finding that hurdler's pose on the other side. So now we're swinging the left leg just in front, right leg comes behind at an angle so that the heel is kicking in towards the booty. Left foot in towards the right thigh. Position your blocks or whatever support you're using just to the outside of the left thigh, and we'll inhale first to sit up nice and tall, rotate, and then exhale, begin to walk it down onto the forearms. You can clasp your hands here. You can do hands in prayer position. Just see what works for you here. Settle in on this side. Taking nice deep breaths. Thinking about the kindness that you give to yourself by taking nice deep breaths and really oxygenating the physical body, oxygenating the mind. Embracing the stillness, embracing softness as a form of ahimsa, non-harm. I respect my body. I appreciate my practice. I am grateful for showing up to my mat. Let's take 4 more breaths. Awesome. This next one we'll exhale out the mouth. Big breath in. And let it go. All right. Slowly making your way up. Now this time maybe take your feet out in front of you about hips distance, and we'll just do kind of like a windshield wipering motion to kind of release that. All right, and now we're coming into supported fish pose. So we're gonna use our blocks again and our bolster. Now, if you don't have a bolster, you can again use pillows. If you don't have blocks, you can actually just use your bolster. So if you have everything, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put one block on its highest height at the back of the mat where your head is gonna be. And then the second block will come onto its medium height, perpendicular to this top block. So what's gonna happen is if you don't have a bolster, you can do a pillow over top this. If you have the bolster, we're going to line up the cushion over top of our, you know what, I lied to you. Take this second block on the lowest height. There we go. That looks right. All right. So we're just going to put the bolster over top the blocks like this to give you a little extra cushion, or your pillow. If you don't have the blocks, you can simply lay your bolster or your pillows down long ways, and you can drape your shoulders over that. It won't be quite as intense of a heart opener, but you're still going to feel that opening sensation. All right, so as you arrive here, we're going to now bring the sit bones all the way back, hips all the way back to the bolster. Begin to lean all the way back, lying on that bolster. And if you need to, you can adjust the blocks a little bit to support. We're going to start with the feet on the floor bent here, and just allow the shoulders to kind of drape open here. So you feel your heart really opening up towards the sky, collarbones broadening, and just either let the hands rest here by your sides, or if that doesn't feel comfortable, they can always come to your low belly. Let's take a few deep breaths here. Supported fish. You can even close your eyes if that feels nice. Now choose to stay here if this is like just feeling amazing to you. This is a great place to be. If you want to go just a little deeper with the arch in the back, the legs are going to extend all the way out. And again, this is just going to create a slight more intense arch in your lower back. Nothing too serious. So give it a shot. If that still feels relaxing and soft for you and non-harmful, then give that variation a try. Still just letting the shoulders roll open, chest shining up towards the ceiling, and taking some really deep breaths here. It's so important that we first practice the attitude of Ahimsa towards ourselves, towards our bodies, towards our minds and spirits. Because once we learn to treat ourselves with that respect and with that kindness, with that restraint from harm, then we can treat others that way. It's really hard to express those types of things to other people if we don't even do it for ourselves. At least not genuinely or in an authentic way. So really let this become part of your mindset and your attitude towards how you treat yourself. Even in more intense physical practices, you can take these concepts onto your mat and still remember to not push it, to not go past your limits, to enact respect and restraint, to let go of the ego, to be non-harmful. 4 more breaths in supported fish. Last breath. Big open mouth exhale. Awesome. All right, really slowly we're going to come out of this by first bending the knees again if they are not already bent. Taking your hands just beside your hips and sort of lifting yourself up away from your props. We'll go ahead and move the props back off to the side. I'm just going to move my bolster behind me. You don't really need these props anymore for the rest of the class. Take the blocks out of the way. And we're going to start to slowly make our way all the way down to the back. All right, take the left leg long on the mat. Inhale the right knee into the chest. On the exhale, very gently draw the right knee all the way across the body. And take the right arm out to the side in a cactus formation, or maybe like half of a T shape. Gaze gently over to the right side as you wring the body out of any remaining tensions, of any remaining blockages or attitudes of force, any attitudes of not good enough. Filling yourself with the attitude of kindness, of Ahimsa. Inhale, take it slowly back to center. Exhale, switch it out. Right leg gets long, left knee hugs into the chest, big squeeze. Exhale, same thing, draw the left knee across the body, left arm extends, half T or cactus, and just gazing gently to your left side. Physically releasing anything from the body that needs to be released. Energetically releasing any critical or judgmental attitudes with your breath. I am grateful for showing up to my mat. I respect my body. I accept my practice. Inhale, slowly come all the way back to center. And we'll hug both knees all the way into the chest for a final loving squeeze. Make it a nice, loving hug here. Ahimsa, non-harm, but kindness. Choosing kindness over violence today. Choosing kindness and acceptance over force. Choosing peace and gratitude over fight. And as you're ready, slowly let the arms and the legs release down to the mat. Settle the body, the weight into the earth as you allow a sense of support to come to your body as you lie upon the ground. Take a final big breath in and audibly sigh it out. Shavasana. And slowly beginning to come back to your body. Taking some nice deep breaths while maintaining an attitude of non-harm, while maintaining a sense of softness as you begin to wiggle out fingers, toes, roll out wrists, ankles. On an inhale, reach the arms all the way up overhead. Nice big full body stretch. And as you exhale, bend the knees, roll gently to one side as you make your way back up to a comfortable seated position. Sitting tall on the mat, lengthening the spine, rolling the shoulders back, and lifting through the crown of the head. We'll seal our practice gently by bringing palms together in front of center of the heart into Anjali Mudra as a sign of love, of gratitude, and respect to your body, your practice, and your life as they exist right now in this moment, as well as every single moment to come. Making the promise to yourself to walk off of the mat with the attitude of Ahimsa towards yourself and towards others. Thumb tips gently rise up to the center of the forehead, the third eye space. Exhale for a gentle fold forward. Namaste. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me for today's Ahimsa-inspired Yin Yoga class. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you feel relaxed. And don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification button. And if you are loving diving into the Yamas right now and you want to go even a little bit deeper, get more information and more classes on this subject, then you can head over to my Patreon page where I've opened the Yoga Magic Studio. This is a virtual yoga community which has 5 different tiers for you to join, all of them getting you access to a members only Discord server where we talk about the things that we're learning, as well as exclusive content like more yoga classes, more meditations, and practice calendars, journal prompts, all sorts of things to support you in your practice. So if that sounds awesome, then hit the link below to head over and join the Yoga Magic Studio. Otherwise, I will see you next time on the mat. Namaste.